Yeah, my name is Jane. I am the CEO of Nola Skinsentials. Pretty much, I handle a lot of the admin and marketing things, and I pretty much manage the entire team. Anything that's associated with like admin and marketing, I'm pretty much hands on with that, and as well as customer service.
Awesome. Again, we love to meet leaders who are very, very hands-on with their business, right? That's where we get the most lessons from. So with that being said, could you tell us a little more about Nola Skin Essentials, where the idea came from and how the business has developed from there?
Yeah, so Nola is actually where my partner, who's also my fiance, that's kind of like where we met at. We were both just like randomly on vacation in Nola, and we kind of just met at like one of their seafood cafes. And from that moment, we've just been like, started friends and we began dating. And then he's a cosmetic chemist. I was going to school for pre-med. So from there, we kind of just had the idea to kind of start a skincare business with both of ourselves involved.
Awesome. I mean, that's a really cool story, right? So something
Yeah.
else that we noticed when we were doing a bit of research about your brand, something that really caught our attention was the fact that you are trying to create a skincare brand that is focused on melanin-rich skin tones, right? Just tell us a little more
Yeah.
about that and how you picked that particular category. I'm assuming there's a personal connect with that.
Yeah, definitely. Back when we started NOLA, like before I was like a college student, so dealing with hormonal acne, there really wasn't a lot of skincare products on the market that were, I don't want to say compatible, but I would say like maybe geared towards women of color, like their skin tones. Everything was pretty much generic. Everything was kind of marketed as like for all skin types and skin tones. And that's not true. Like obviously darker skin tones have different skin ailments and skin concerns than lighter skin tones. We have more hyperpigmentation cases. We scar differently. So obviously we would need products that cater towards our skin tones. We saw the need there and we saw that there was really nothing for us. So we went ahead and kind of created a solution for that. And that's kind of where the Skin Essentials came from. So Skin Essentials is kind of just a play on skin, obviously, and essentials. So things that your skin needs. So NOLA, obviously from New Orleans, and then Skin Essentials. So NOLA has what your skin needs, and just all that good stuff.
Awesome. Again, we love the effort that you're taking to make beauty and beauty products more inclusive. Coming from like a cultural background where we also face some of the same issues, right, with regards to beauty products, which is traditionally not made for our skin types, etc. It's
Mm-hmm.
great to see brands that are stepping up to bridge that gap.
Yes.
Mhm, mhm. And in that regard, again, when we were reading up about your brand, one thing that stood out was the amount of success and the activity that we see from your brand on Instagram, right? So something that many of the brands reach out to ask is like, hey, how do we create such a successful Instagram presence? And how has your story been on Instagram? How do you start using it as a channel? And what's been the secret of your success on there?
On Instagram. Yeah. So when we first started our brand, we obviously made an Instagram page because Instagram was very popular then. But ironically, we started on Twitter. And I feel like Twitter was more organic. It's more of like a conversational platform. So you are just able to be like your true, authentic self on that platform. And that's kind of how we got a lot of our beginning success, building like a community there. So when we did actually start putting more effort onto our Instagram, those community members kind of just migrated there, and from there we've been able to grow. Even before we started running ads on Instagram, it was kind of just everything word of mouth. People just referring their friends. They really liked the products. They were part of our community, and they were just happy to be there. Fast forward to a few years into Instagram, we were working with a lot of influencers and definitely running like starting to run like a little bit of their paid social when Instagram had that change and how they do their marketing. But I would say in the beginning, it was definitely just word of mouth and organic growth and just focusing on building a strong community, because that's what really helped us in the beginning. Like we attribute everything to like our community.
Awesome. Again, we love to see brands that place a lot of emphasis on community as well as making not only products that are for customers, but actually customers can relate with. right? So in that regard,
Yes.
for newer businesses that are just starting out on social channels like Instagram, what would you offer as advice to them to be successful in these areas?
Yeah. So, oh, good one. I know, like, starting a new business, it's definitely super challenging now. I mean, it's always been challenging, but I feel like even more challenging now because there's so much competition. There's so many new platforms and there's so many things that you have to do in order to be a successful brand. Um, for people that are just starting out, I would definitely just say, focus on your why, like why you're starting your brand. What is your reason for the market? Like, why would somebody buy your product? And live by that. Don't, compare yourself to other brands. Stay on your track, believe in your brand, and just kind of focus again, like on your why. Once you are, I don't want to say convincing your customer, but once your customers understand your why and they're believing in your products, from there, you're going to be successful and you're going to be able to grow. Don't focus too much on paid social. Again, like, community is everything to us. Focus on building an organic and engaged community and getting people to understand and what they can benefit from your product. And definitely put your customers first. They're going to be the backbones of your products. It's so hard to get someone to shop at your brand for the first time, but it's so much easier for repeat customers to keep coming back to you, and they refer their friends. And that's also a good way to grow your business in the beginning, especially when you're a small brand and when you're bootstrapped and you're doing it on your own. So, just focus on building community, focus on, you're making your customer happy, and definitely focus on your why and stay on track with your why. Don't worry about what other brands are doing. Just focus on what you got going on.
Absolutely, that's perfect advice, and I'm sure anybody reading this or hearing this is going to appreciate that. Right? So, in that regard, just like any other industry has fared during the past, I would say, year and a half. How did the pandemic really affect how you operated as a business? What were the challenges you had to face, and how do you overcome them?
I'm sorry, say the question again.
The pandemic, did it have an
Oh, the
impact on your
pandemic.
business, and how did
Yes.
you manage to
Yeah,
work through it?
definitely. Yeah, so just I would say, like, the first thing that has really affected I would say, like, the pandemic has like a negative and a positive effect on our business.
Hmm.
One of the things that we definitely struggle with was supply chains. A lot of our packaging and things do come from overseas. So when the pandemic first hit, luckily we were a lot of our packaging was kind of in the way to the USA. So it wasn't just getting on the ship. It was already kind of being loaded off the ship and getting to America and being packed out. So we were able to get a lot of our, our packaging and our inventory. It just was delayed, but anything after that was super delayed. We really weren't able to place like large POs with our suppliers to get anything done, because at the same time, while those things were slowing down, our growth was extremely crazy. I feel like a lot of people definitely stopped shopping in person and they really migrated to, shopping online, like ordering online, seeing the product, getting a feel for in real life, and it's showing up at their door. Also during the pandemic, there was a lot of Black movements that really encouraged people to spend their dollars with Black owned businesses. So that's where we kind of saw a lot of our growth with the pandemic. But at the same time, while you're growing a big business and you're seeing numbers that you've never seen before, on the back end, you're not able to get your supplies that you need to continue fulfilling those orders and those purchase orders. So it's kind of just like, you're growing, but you can't grow because you're limited, because a lot of things are just restrained by COVID because you can't get your stuff in. And at the same time, with the whole industrial movement, with, people wanting to work from home and people wanting different things out of life, everybody wanted to start a business. We definitely lost a lot of employees, and the job market was extremely hard to find like top talent. So just a lot of like little difficulties that we faced during the pandemic. But the main takeaway that we had from it was definitely growth. That's the main positive factor that we had coming out of the pandemic.
Awesome. Again, it was very interesting hearing how, in some cases, we met businesses which had a problem where business almost shut down during the pandemic, right? In your case, the order volumes went up. It's been quite fascinating how much the business world has been affected by this over a year and a half. But as we lead up to the holiday season, though, considering you're already seeing growth in volumes, I'm sure you're expecting even more of a growth spurt as the holiday season rolls out. So what are your strategies to combat that spike in shipping volumes? How do you plan for a busy season like that?
Yeah. First thing is being super transparent with your customers. We consider our customers like our friends. So if there's ever an issue, we always are just try to be super transparent with them as far as like delays and shipping and things like that. This year we're actually going to be starting our holiday sale just a little bit earlier, to kind
Mhm,
of combat and kind of alleviate a lot of that expected delays with shipping to help our customers out a lot more. So, we've been quoted by USPS and UPS that there could be massive shipping delays, from like
mhm,
3 to 4 weeks. And there's only 4 weeks between like Black Friday and Christmas. So we want to make sure that the people that are shopping to get their loved ones stuff for the holidays, that they're able to get their stuff. So we've been just letting them know, that we are going to have our Black Friday sale a bit earlier, kind of planning ahead, making sure that we have stuff in stock, way ahead of time, working with our 3PL to make sure that they have the proper staff. We've also hired additional staff in our warehouse, to kind of get things going a lot more quickly. So rather than us sending our final pallets to the 3PL by the second week in November, we're going to get them all out by the end of the month and the first week in November, to kind of just be ahead of the curve and do things as early as possible so that our customers are not disappointed. We're just going to do everything that we can to kind of just alleviate a lot of that delay as much as possible for our customers. We don't want to let them down.
Absolutely. I mean, this actually mirrors. I was smiling because this actually mirrors the same advice we've been telling customers, right? Like prepare early and make sure you're very, very communicative with customers to ensure that they are never kept in the dark. That's perfect advice. I just really hope the brands reading this actually take that to heart. So with that being said, something that I heard you say multiple times during that, right, is the amount of emphasis you place on the shipping activity and the post-purchase activity, right? So
Yeah.
it's great to note that you don't really consider an order to be complete when it leaves your warehouse, but then you're concerned about making sure customer receives it on time. So can you tell me a bit about the efforts you take on the post-purchase side to ensure that your customers have a great experience even after the order is shipped?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of things that I've learned is just about like customer service and post purchase. I've literally found answers in a lot of our competitors, like reviews and complaints on the website or social media. Um, I feel like, when a lot of brands think that when a customer orders from your website and you ship the package to them, they think that that's where the relationship and the service stops, which is so untrue. Because, essentially they're coming to you for something, and we need to ensure that they get their items. For us, even after the package gets delivered, our service and our efforts to them don't stop. We keep going up until, they are finished their product, they've enjoyed the product, or if they have any questions about the product. And we typically see that most times we stay in contact with the customer for at least 2 to 3 weeks after their order has been delivered, because we truly want to know like what's going on. We want to, obviously it's a business, and we're here to sell things to our customers and create solutions for them, but at the same time, it's our job to make sure that we're doing that to the best of our abilities. And we do focus a lot on post purchase, because we want to make sure that they're getting the best service that they can possibly get. We send out a lot of surveys. We offer like a text line. Sometimes we even text our customers to kind of just see, like, obviously, did they get their package? That's number one. Are they enjoying their package, their products? Number two, and if there's any questions or anything that we can answer about that product. We want to make sure that all of our customers are completely satisfied with their purchase. And if they're not, we're going to go ahead and do what we can to make sure that they're satisfied. Satisfied customers come back, they refer their friends, and they typically are the best customers. And they pretty much support your brand. Those are, like our influencers for the brand. Obviously we do work with paid influencers, but our customers, we consider them our influencers as well as our friends. And, friends do things to make friends happy.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't think of any other 2 minute window where so much information has been passed on to prospective brands out there, right? Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
As an extension of that, um, if there is maybe one or two really, really important things from your own experience that you would like to leave behind for any new young brand reading this or listening to this, what would those be?
Yeah. So number one, obviously realize from the very beginning that you cannot do everything all on your own. You're one person. You will need a solid team to grow your brand. That's number one. I've done so much of the business by myself with my partner in the beginning. And, you experience that burnout. You get that burnout where you don't really know, like, not that you lose like hope in your brand, but you obviously get like burnt out where you're like, dang, I don't even want to go to work today. I don't even know if I have the energy to go to work today. But me building a team and finding a team and working with them to kind of just work on the things that I do in my business has helped significantly. And it's been an investment, of course. At the same time, I've gotten a really good return on my investment. So definitely like building a team is number one. And then number two, even though you may be like an expert in your field, an expert in some of the things you study, you never ever want to stop learning. There's always new things coming out on the market, new platforms, especially TikTok, that you may not be as well versed in. So if you open yourself to learning and, listening to people and getting advice, you are going to be the best version of yourself. Never stop learning, because if you do, you're going to limit yourself and you're not going to be able to grow and tap into your potential.
Awesome. Something else interesting when I was doing a bit of research that I came across was in multiple conversations, you'd mentioned the role that your mom played in helping you create a successful business, right? We would love for our readers
Yeah.
to learn more about that.
Yeah. So I come from a very Caribbean background, and a lot of like, our parents want us to go to school, grow up, become like doctors, nurses, teachers, whatever the case may be. My mom, like, definitely, I feel like from a young age, she definitely saw that I wanted things that were different in life. I didn't want the traditional, like, there's nothing wrong with teachers, doctors, and lawyers, none of that stuff. But I just felt like it wasn't for me. My mom, like, never, ever, like, forced me to go into stuff. She always said, like, follow your dreams, do what makes you happy. And at the end of the day, you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life, and so forth. So for me, like, my mom was just an inspiration and just inspiring me to kind of like look beyond the norm that, my family or friends had set for me, and just do what I wanted to do in life. From there, just, I've always felt like the possibilities for what I wanted to do in life were endless. And it really just made me explore a lot of things that maybe I would have never gotten to explore. And my mom has always like really, really pushed me to think outside of the box. So just even having the courage to go from pre-med to owning a business to, opening a spa and things like that, I attribute a lot of it to my mom, because had I not had someone to push me outside of like my normal limits, I probably wouldn't have gotten this far. I feel like everybody needs someone to kind of keep pushing them and be like a motivator to them. And I'm just thankful that that person was my mom. So yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. I mean, in business conversation, that's something the fact that there's such a big motivation factor in helping you achieve this. That's something I'm sure our readers would love to learn about, right? So closing comments, any word at all on how LateShipment.com has been able to help Nola Skin Essentials?
I'm sorry, say it again.
How LateShipment.com has been able to help you on the post-purchase front. Any words at all on that?
Yes, definitely. So, definitely helps a lot. One thing that I said before, that we try to be super transparent with our customers, letting them know of any delays that are coming up. So when I found the app, I was kind of doing research. I think I found you guys do like an integration or so forth with like either Gorgeous or Click, something like that. And I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even know that somebody had this function where we could be alerted if a customer's package was going to be late, let them know so they can know to expect it, and kind of let them know before they let us know, and kind of just be ahead of the customer service curve. Before we partnered with Late Shipment, I actually was using a different platform, and I was paying someone to go through all of our orders to make sure that within 5 days, all the orders that we shipped on a certain day was delivered. So that took a lot of manpower and obviously billable hours to be able to complete that task, because I always knew that we needed to stay ahead of that, because we do ship a lot of orders. Since we partner with Late Shipment, we get the emails directly to our Gorgeous. So when we get those notifications, we can either let our customer know, but at the same time, our customer also gets notified so that they know, hey, Nola sent me an email letting me know that my package is going to be delayed. So when I click on the tracking number, I see that it's delayed and I see a new date for when it's going to arrive. We've gotten a lot of messages from customers just thanking us for basically being like proactive in that matter, to let them know that their package is going to be delayed. When people order online, sometimes they forget about their package. I don't know how, but they forget about their package, and they obviously want to be notified of like when it's going to come. That is like one of the number one inquiries we get once a package has been shipped. Where's my order? It said it's been delayed. What does that mean? So, we explain that to them. They get the email. And for the most part, I would say like about 90% of our customers are really happy to get that email. Obviously, they're not super happy because they want their order. They don't want it to be delayed, but they're happy that they've been notified, and that we're kind of they feel like we are being, again, proactive in that matter for them. they feel more comforted.
Awesome. Again, on behalf of all our readers and me personally, it was an absolute pleasure to talk to an owner and a business that is very, very tuned in to the community, the customers, and also offering a product that not only meets all quality requirements, but actually stands for something, right? So it really
Yes.
was my pleasure to talk to you in that regard. And thank you so much for joining us today, and hope you have an amazing day ahead.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thanks,
Thank
Jane.
you.
Yeah, thanks, Jane. Again, that was a concluding portion for closing the conversation out. But even apart from that, I'm glad that I did have the time to catch up with you. And thanks so much for sharing all those insights. It's really been one of the most informative sessions that I have been on in terms of
Awesome.
customer stories that we've been doing.
Yeah, I'm so happy to share. And I hope that somebody just learned something from it and take something away from it. That would be like awesome to me.
I mean, that's the whole idea behind us doing this series too. We work with so many cool brands, and we just want to make sure that their stories actually inspire other businesses we work with, right?
Of course.
It's something which we've been gaining a lot of positive comments for, and stories like these is what is going to take it to higher places. Thanks so much for that.
Be sure to join us alongside over 5,000 leading e-commerce and retail logistics leaders and get insider knowledge delivered to you. Subscribe to our newsletter for more. Want to learn more about lateshipment.com's post-purchase excellence platform? Write to us on sales@lateshipment.com.